Happy Friday, everybody. Good evening. We are live on Facebook. And as usual, I'm Eddie Bruce, in case you didn't know, in case you stumbled by and didn't know who you were talking to or looking at. Welcome to our Friday Night Club. It is always a pleasure for me to spend some time with you to share some songs, some stories. And as usual, we want to wait till a few people gather before we jump in head on. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're feeling good and healthy and you're ready for some music and for some fun and for some stories. This particular show was really important to me. And, some weeks I just like to sing songs for you. And some weeks we have a theme. And tonight we kind of have a theme. So we're going to get a nice group together here. And let me remind you, do some business while we're waiting for people to gather. And hello. I'm not sure if my messages are on. There you go. Hello. Okay, now I can see all of you guys. What did I want to tell you? I was just going to do some business. This will be up all week. And you can watch it whenever you want if you're not live or you want to see it again. I also want to make sure that you know that we will put this up on YouTube. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Eddie Bruce Music. That's the only way to get to the actual channel with all my videos. So it's youtube.com/Eddie Bruce Music. No spaces. And you will find me. Okay? That didn't take long. Oh my God, we're getting phone calls already. So anyway, we have a nice group gathering and I'm going to jump in. For so many years now, I have been playing weddings and parties and bar mitzvahs and special events and big galas for all of you. It's been a big part of your life and a big part of my life. Oh my God. I keep getting the same call from the same person and I don't know how to block that. Let's hope he stops. Hey, live. That's what I'm talking about. What's I talking about? Oh, okay. So, most of you I know only since, I've been doing the weddings and parties. That's been the life that we've shared together. But I had a life before weddings. I really did. Well, thank you, Cheryl, but it's not the phone. It's the iPad that I need for the tracks, and it's the same person that somehow keeps accidentally calling me, but we'll see how we put a stop to it. So my life before weddings is one that I haven't shared with a lot of you. And I thought we would talk about 4 years of my life that started when I was 19 and ended when I was 23. And it's kind of amazing that in a life of over 6 decades, that those 4 years still hold such amazing resonance and have such an important part of my memory. They are the roots of not only my music, but of many of the most important relationships of my entire life. I realized that I could really call this show like an old joke. 2 Jews and an Italian walk into a bar. Because that's a setup for a joke, but it's actually who we were. We walked into a lot of bars together. Joe Jaggi and Barry Miller and I. When this thing came together, I had just left high school and had started Temple University. I went to Temple University mainly because I wanted to avoid going to Vietnam. That's simple. And I kept going there until I got my draft lottery number, which was really a good number. And once I had that good number, I knew I wanted to sing. I had been gigging up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania with a band in a resort. And a couple of guys named Joe and Barry were gigging at another resort. Just the two of them. And I remember going over to listen to them one afternoon when they were jamming. And I thought, wow, what a sound. It was a Hammond B3 organ, and Barry on the drums, Joe on the organ, and I sat in with them. And I never forgot that moment because I swung like I never heard a couple of guys swing before. It was kind of extraordinary, and it was a life-changing moment. And they did a song that I still today do in my shows, in the same arrangement, essentially. And I thought we would just kick things off now that we have a nice group gathered with an arrangement of this Henry Mancini song that I first sang with Joe and Barry at the Host Farm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. and couldn't believe how they kicked it. So I'm going to kick it with you. When we played our charade, we were like children posing, playing at games, acting out names, guessing the parts we played. Oh, what a hit we made. We came on next to closing. We were best on the bill. We were lovers until love left the masquerade. Now fame seemed to pull the strings. I looked and you were gone, while from the darkened wings the music box played on. Sad little serenade, the song of my heart's composing. Well, I hear it still, and I always will. Best on the bill, charade. A bass solo. Well, we didn't have a bass in Compass. We had Joe Jaggy playing the B3 and kicking bass with his left foot on pedals. How about it? Hello, California. Hi, Reds. Well, fate seemed to pull the strings. I looked and you were gone, while from the darkened wings the music box played on and on and on and on. Sad little serenade, song of my heart's composing. Yeah, I hear it still, and I always will. Best on the bill, charade. Ooh, I think I hurt myself. I don't know what key we did it in then, but that's as high as I'm going to do it tonight, or these days. So yeah, that's how we would do songs like that in our first set. People were having dinner. Let me tell you a little bit about the trio. So the trio was made up of just, obviously, three of us. I was the boy singer. And the other two guys were Joe Jaggy, who was a handsome Italian from Kennett Square, Mushroom Country. He was kind of moody, but with an amazing personality, heart of gold, kind of quiet, shy, till he got behind the organ. Wow. And so the setup was that Joe would play a Hammond B3 organ with two big Leslie speakers that we used to schlep around every month or so when we moved. Then he would pile on top of that an electric piano. And then on top of that, a Mini Moog synthesizer. And then down the road a little bit, we actually got a Mellotron, which was a keyboard that only Yes and the Moody Blues had. Very few other bands had them. They were sort of primitive samples with actual tapes attached to each key, and you'd hit them and you'd hear a violin or a cello or a flute. A nightmare to maintain, but Joe pulled it off. Then with his left foot, he kicked bass and occasionally picked up a trumpet, and even now and then would sing a song. He had such soul, and he was a musician almost completely trained by ear. Extraordinary talent. On the drums was Barry Miller. Barry was the opposite. He was sort of an outgoing, gregarious guy who would engage you at the drop of a hat, and he was from Northeast Philly, and an amazing drummer. He had been playing drums since he was a teenager with bands of his own and backing up national acts, and an amazing sort of show business sense for a drummer. So that was the two of them, and then I would get up and sing my songs. And it was amazing. We would move into these hotels, and we would do 6 nights a week. It was pretty amazing. Did I say amazing? Maybe more than once. So as the night started, we would do a dinner set. Now, one other thing I just wanted to tell you, and that is that none of these arrangements or the backing that you're hearing are those guys, because I don't have any tracks from those years. I don't have anything to sing with them anymore, unfortunately. So what I've done is pick the songs that I love that we used to do and try to find some reasonable facsimiles. So this year when we got together was late 72, early 73. And yeah, that long ago. And The Lady Sings the Blues with Diana Ross as Billie Holiday had just been out. And so during dinner, I got to sing this song. Now, I haven't sung it since because very few brides want to hear Good Morning Heartache. But I get to sing it with you tonight. And I used to love the early sets when we could just do pretty things like this. Good morning, heartache, you old gloomy sigh. Good morning, heartache, thought we said goodbye last night. I turned and tossed until it seemed you had gone. But here you are with the dawn. Wish I could forget you. You are here to stay. It seems I met you when my love went away. Now every day I start by saying to you, good morning, heartache, what's new? Stop haunting me now. I just can't shake you no how. Just leave me alone. I got those Monday blues, right through Sunday blues. Good morning, heartache, here we go again. Good morning, heartache, you're the one who knew me when. Might as well get used to you hanging around. Good morning, heartache, sit down. Yeah, stop haunting me now. I just can't shake you no how. Why don't you leave me alone? I got those Monday blues, right through Sunday blues. Good morning, heartache, here we go again. Good morning, heartache, you're the one who knew me when. Might as well get used to you hanging around. Good morning, heartache, sit down. Sit on down. See, you could get away with singing sad songs in a lounge like that, you know? I was the lounge singer. That's where we worked. We worked initially, we got booked into the Holiday Inn East in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was Hempstead Road at the end of Route 30 where the bypass started. We got booked in there, I think, for a month. We moved in, and that was home. And we would work 6 nights a week, 5 sets a night, and we were having a ball and building our repertoire and learning each other's musical foibles and stuff. And then we got booked into the garden spot of Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre. We were up in Wilkes-Barre at the Holiday Inn up there, and those two became sort of our home away from home. That was our home bases in Pennsylvania. So we bounced back and forth from Lancaster to Wilkes-Barre, and we would stay in the hotel, and we would eat in the hotel, and we would party in the hotel, and we would go to Denny's at 4 a.m, you know, after our set was done at 2. And it really was an interesting life. It really was. Well, finally, we met up with, so we were called the Joe Jaggy Trio at first. Then we became the Holidays because we worked at Holiday Inns, and we thought we were going to maybe get a commercial deal with Holiday Inn. That didn't happen. And then my dad said, you know, you do music in every direction, every kind of music. Why not call yourself Compass? So my dad named the band. And Dad, where we are, thank you for that. And it was appropriate because that's exactly what we did. We played music from all genres, as you'll see tonight. So finally, a couple of guys approached us, and without going into the weeds on it, we got a recording deal. So we were sent to New York to record some songs in New York City. And we decided on this one particular song to be our single, and we made a record. Do you remember what a record is? Does anybody know what a record is? I know Maddie, my granddaughter's watching. She doesn't know what a record is. Hey, there's a record. This is the record. This is True Love Records and the recording that we made in New York City. Now, it was a song we hadn't written. It's a song that we recorded with a bunch of other musicians that we didn't know. So we ended up sounding nothing like ourselves. Nothing. But we had fun having a record because then we would go on the road and it would be in the jukebox, and every now and then we'd get airplay in the towns we played in. So there we were in New York. We did our recording, and very few people have ever heard it. But you're going to hear it right now. It's not pop. It's not rock. It's barely disco. It was right around disco's beginnings. You decide what it is. This is You Are the Spring of My Life. And that's, hear the record? Crisp? Crackly? Yeah.
When the morning sun is shining, when my love is on its way, sweet dream. As you wake, I will say, you are the spring of my life. I want to be with you through the summer, and it comes to me through the fall, and winter won't be cold at all. We will live our days together, holding hands and singing songs. When we come to agree on some things, try our best to get along. You are the spring of my life. I want to be with you through the summer. As the years pass on, we'll mellow, and our love will still be true. In the evenings we'll remember when I sang this song to you. You are the spring of my life. I wanna be with you through the summer. Have you close to me through the fall. Then winter won't be cold at all. You are
Oh, I stopped singing. So you knew I was lip syncing? Or did you think there was just a glitch in your transmission there? That's You Are the Spring of My Life. That's actually the only song where we're actually playing on it tonight. And it doesn't even sound like Compass. Do you think I still sound like that? That guy's 20. And this guy's not. Oh my God, that's so much fun. That was You Are the Spring of My Life. 45 still available. And at a very small fee, I will pay you to take them. No, not really. So this was a big turning point for Compass. Not because the record became a hit, because it didn't, of course. But when we finished that recording session in New York City, we were sent on the road. And we were told by our agent to get in the car and drive west on the New York State Thruway until we showed up 6 hours later in a town called Canandaigua, New York. Now, we said, where? Canada, what? He said, Canandaigua. It's part of the Finger Lakes of New York. 5 Finger Lakes, and it's one of the middle ones. I made that up. It's a 17-mile long, beautiful lake. You'll play at the Sheraton at the end of Main Street at the foot of the lake. I said, okay. So it was May, so it was getting warmer up in upstate New York. Not real warm, but it was getting there. And we got in our car and we drove 6 hours. When we got out on Main Street, we found a dry cleaner. That was first. A restaurant. That was second. And then, well, then we checked into the Sheraton Hotel. And our lives really did change. We met some amazing people. What can I tell you? We spent an entire summer on that lake with amazing friends like Ray and Helen Probst, may they rest in peace, who had a home on the lake and took us in like family. Their daughter Betsy, who was our biggest fan and still is, and she's watching from Georgia tonight. She recorded the band a lot of places that we went. That's why I still have some very old rusty tapes. So it was just a summer of unbelievable fun. And we were a hit. We packed that place every night in Canandaigua, New York. And I met my future and my future ex-wife, same person, Christy, there. She was a dairy farmer's daughter who milked the cows every morning before she went to school. And we hit it off and spent the summer together. And then we we're still spending a lifetime together. She's the best ex-wife anybody could ever have. So Christy, I love you. I know you're out there. So that was the summer. Now we came back to that area in December, which is another story. It ain't that much fun in December. Snowed every day. But that summer was magic. So we would pack the dance floor, and when the dance floor was really going strong, we might do something like this. If you're down and confused and you don't remember who you're talking to, concentration slipping away, 'cause your baby is so far away. Well, there's a rose in a fisted glove, and my eagle flies with the dove. Now if you can't be with the one you love, then love the one you're with. 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 Don't be angry. Don't be sad. Don't sit crying over good times you had. There's a girl sitting next to you. She's just waiting for something to do. And there's a rose in a fisted glove, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, then love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Hey. Oh yeah, I hope you're dancing. I hope you're dancing. Well, baby, just love the one you're with. 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 Turn your heartache into joy, 'cause she's a girl and you're a boy. Get it together. Yeah, feel the love now, 'cause we are all in love. Come on now, there's a rose in a fisted glove, and the eagle flies with the dove. If you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with, yeah, yeah. Yes, and I get 90% of the words right, which ain't bad. Yeah, we would rock the Sheraton in Canandaigua, and we really were a big hit. Summer went on, and we loved it. We loved it, and made a lot of music, made a lot of friends that are still in our lives. But then the summer ended. And when it ended, there was a big decision for Christy and for me. What do we do now? Literally, until the night that we played our last note, we didn't know what we were going to do. I was headed to Indianapolis with the band. We were booked into a Stouffer's in Indianapolis, and we were going to say goodbye. And then last minute, she said, let's go get a pillow. And she got her pillow and a blanket and packed a bag, and she came with me on the road. And she would visit me on the road, every month or so for a week, until finally she quit her job, sold everything, and came on the road with me, and we started our life together. So that was pretty cool. So we got sent into the Midwest. We went to Indianapolis. We went to Kalamazoo. We went to Portage, Michigan, which is a suburb of beautiful Kalamazoo. We were in Youngstown, Ohio, at a dumpy rock club. We were at Columbus, Ohio, at a Sheraton Viking Inn, home of Ohio State football. If they won, great crowd. If they lost, bupkis. It was that kind of thing. In Portage, Michigan, we played at a bowling alley. We did. We played at a bowling alley with a lounge in it. So here are these three East Coast guys doing everything from Billie Holiday to Sinatra, and then some really interesting arrangements that we would make up. We had some really, really good fun coming up with our own take on things. There was a song by a gentleman named Gilbert O'Sullivan. I don't know if you guys remember this song. Kind of a strange song, almost about like depression. Not almost, it was. And but I liked the song, and the words were kind of weird, but we thought, let's do something with this. And so we rehearsed, and we came up with a kind of a jazzy arrangement of it. And I couldn't find exactly that arrangement that we did, but I thought it might be fun to go back and visit this Gilbert O'Sullivan song. And I'll never forget watching these people in the bowling alley in Portage, finishing their game, put their balls on the table, sit back and say, what are these guys going to sing? And then we'd come out with something like this. In a little while from now, if I'm not feeling any less sour, I promise myself I'd treat myself, visit a nearby tower, climbing to the top, will throw myself off in an effort to make it clear to whoever what it's like when you're shattered, left standing in the lurch at a church where people say, my God, that's tough. She stood him up. No point in us remaining. May as well go home as I did on my own, alone again, naturally. To think that only yesterday I was cheerful, bright, and still gay, looking forward to, well, who wouldn't do the role I was about to play. But as if to knock me down, reality came around, and without so much as a mere touch, cut me into little pieces, leaving me to doubt. Talk about God in His mercy, who, if He really does exist, then why did He desert me in my hour of need? Truly am indeed alone again, naturally. It seems to me that there are more hearts broken in the world that can't be mended, left unattended. What do we do? What do we do? Now looking back over the years, whatever else that appears, I remember I cried when my father died, never wishing to hide the tears. And at 65 years old, my mother, God rest her soul, couldn't understand why the only man she had ever loved had been taken, leaving her to doubt, with a heart so badly broken. Despite encouragement from me, no words were ever spoken. And when she passed away, I cried and I cried all day, alone again, naturally. I'm alone again, naturally. There's nothing like a good song about death and depression. You know, jumping off a tower and when your parents died, you know, nothing like putting it to a nice bossa nova beat. And as soon as you get that little groove going, you can tell your story. I hope you're enjoying this because, you know, I know some of these stories go back, well, they're important for me and to a lot of people watching who live them with us, but they're not necessarily stories that you're all going to be interested in. I hope that you are, because it's cool and important to me. We will go back to a regular format next week, and we will have next week our Sinatra. It's First Friday Frank. And I have some really interesting things for you next week. Some of your amazing requests, some special lyrics that I wrote in honor of Mr. Sinatra, and a patriotic version of Frank songs that, oh my goodness, now we have a call that I actually may want to take. Let's see who it is. Hello, who's that?
Oh, it's Barry. Hi, Eddie. Hi, everybody.
It's Barry Miller.
It's Barry Miller in New Orleans.
Barry, I didn't tell him yet where you guys ended up. Joe, of course, ended up in the desert in California, and Barry went to New Orleans, where you have spent all these years as a photojournalist for ABC and one of the great drummers of New Orleans.
I actually came to New Orleans because I got hired by the Dukes of Dixieland to travel in the national act of the Dukes of Dixieland, who had their own nightclub on the roof of the Montleone Hotel in the French Quarter, and stayed with them all the way through '76. And there were some bad problems, and then I wound up playing on the brand new riverboat Natchez on the Mississippi River.
Wow.
For about, I guess, 3 years, playing in a wonderful brass band. For people riding up and down on this beautiful riverboat in the port of Mississippi River off of New Orleans.
So you've had a remarkable career since those Compass days, but thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. I hope everybody can hear you okay. Just looking back to stories that, we could go on for hours just telling stories, but I wanted to reminisce with you a little bit, because we have some amazing memories. You remember our time in the beautiful Portage, Michigan? Portage, Michigan. Do you remember that?
It was a bowling alley, right?
It was
right outside Kalamazoo.
It was a bowling alley, absolutely right. And
wait a minute. Isn't that the place that had the chicken wire on the front of the stage?
It should have, if it didn't. I don't know. But I do know that we got run out of town, if you remember that.
The way I remember it, the day before we were going to get out of town and check out of the motel, there was an accidental accident instead of on purpose.
They're the best kind. Yeah.
A beer mug fell into the toilet in the motel room and cracked a hole in the bowl.
Yeah, a hole in the bowl, and it was in the middle of the night, and it's flooded the hotel, and we ran like hell.
Well, we went and got glue at the hardware store and stuck it back on. And I remember we loaded up in my car, in your car. We always traveled in 3 vehicles. Joe drove the truck, and you in your car, and I was in mine, and we were hitting it. And here comes this guy chasing after us for the bill for the broken toilet, because I guess they went to look and check the room that we
yeah, and it was such a beautiful hotel too. I mean, it was like, to quote a famous line, "What a dump." Now when we worked in Canandaigua, and we worked at a place called The Farm in Victor, New York, in that December after the summer at the Sheraton. Tell them a story about what happened when the sheriff got involved with us.
We had worked at the Sheraton Hotel for quite a while, back and forth for months and months and months, and they treated us pretty well. But we ran up an account. We had a house account, and we'd sign for meals and sign for drinks.
But we thought we made them so much money that they would forgive us when it was over. They didn't.
Well, it was supposed to have been forgiven. I don't know if there was a change in ownership or something, but they came and demanded the money. So here's the thing. I wasn't there when this happened. My drums were out because I went to Chautauqua to play at a drum percussion seminar. So I bring my drums back to the hotel, to the farm, to the gig, and there's nothing there. Joe's equipment's gone. The PA's gone. There's nobody around. And it was at the Sheraton, wasn't it?
It was from The Farm in Victor, and what happened was, I guess it's better than arresting us. They arrested our equipment. It was literally all in a cell until we raised the money.
Told me, "Where's the stuff?" I asked the guy where the stuff is. He said, "Oh, the sheriff came and took it. It's locked up in jail." I said, "What?" So Amazingly, I still had my drums, but there's a picture of it somewhere with all the stuff
in the jail
piled up
cell.
in the
Yeah.
cell.
Well, listen, I want to get back to singing. I just want to ask you one thing, and I thank you again for calling in. We are lifelong friends. We were brothers on the road and brothers in music, and 6 years later, we are still brothers. And thank you for all this great music. What is it that you take away mostly from those years that we spent together on the road with Jaggy?
Mostly, I think working together, trying to put on the shows that we were trying to do. We were trying to become a show entertainer group,
right?
And striving to be that good performer that can stand on stage and capture the room and make that show memorable. I think is what we work towards.
And you know, every set was like that. We tried to make every set a show, and
exactly.
I've been doing that. I've been trying to capture the room ever since.
Compass, and Joe did it. Joe wound up being a musical director for big shows, and he learned how to be that showman. And you certainly did amazingly, and I did too. I still get on stage and do it.
You were definitely a showman as a drummer. And I'll just wrap with this. You know, Joe Jaggy in California in Palms Desert, he ended up being Sonny Bono's musical director when Sonny was still obviously alive and working. And before he became mayor of Palm Springs, Joe was his musical director. So we've all had quite a career.
Eddie, I want to say that I'm glad that at least Joe didn't take up skiing with Sonny.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Barry, I love you, man. Thanks for calling in.
I love you. Love you, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye. That was special for me. I hope it was for you too. He's a special kind of drummer. Special kind of drummer. Maybe one day he'll be able to clean up these tapes we have, and we'll be able to hear Compass actually. So great stories. So here's what would happen, you know, for me as a singer. I would do the dinner set, and I would do the rock, and we did the Doobie Brothers and the Allman Brothers, and we did ELO, and we did, you know, as you said, Billie Holiday and Frank Sinatra and everything in between. But Joe and Barry always gave me a chance to shine. And at the end of a set, what would happen is they would say, hey, do a biggie. We called it a biggie, a big torch song, you know, a big production number. And I got to belt, be dramatic, and do my thing. Good training for later in my life. So I wanted to find a biggie for you to do. And I found this one that was maybe my favorite at the time. It was a huge hit for Shirley Bassey. And you don't hear it very much anymore, unfortunately. But I dug it up and found a track that I liked, and I thought I'll put on my best drama queen impression here and sing it with all the feeling that I used to have singing it at the end of my sets with Compass. I hope you remember this song, and if you don't, I hope you like it. It's actually pretty profound. Funny how a lonely day can make a person say, what good is my life? Funny how a breaking heart can make me start to say, what good is my life? Funny how I often seem to think I'll never find a dream in my life, till I look around and see this great big world is part of me and my life. This is my life. Today, tomorrow, love will come and find me. For that's the way that I was born to be. This is me. This is me. This is my life, and I don't give a damn for lost emotion. I've such a lot of love I've got to give Let me live. Let me live. Sometimes when I feel afraid, think of what a mess I've made of my life. Crying over my mistakes, forgetting all the breaks I've had in my life. I was put on earth to be a part of this great world as me and my life. I guess I'll just add up the score and count the things I'm grateful for in my life. This is my life. Today, tomorrow, love will come and find me. For that's the way that I was born to be. This is me. This is me. This is my life. And I don't give a damn for lost emotion. I've such a lot of love I've got to give. Let me live. Let me live. This is my life. This is my life. This is my It's emotional for me, you know, because it takes me right back to that stage with Joe and Barry, and so many of you wonderful people watching who were there with us. You know, Becky, I love you. Jerry, I don't know if she's out there or not. Linda, I see that you're watching. Linda, who we met in Reading when we worked at the Holiday Inn. Diane. Of course, Christy. There were so many amazing people. And then some that weren't so amazing, like Jim Norton and Paul Mineo, our managers. And Lester Boyce, who owned the Sheraton and confiscated our equipment. Oh, my God. It was really fun. It was really, really fun and really, really special. So I wanted to do some stuff for you tonight, you know, that you don't usually hear me sing, and this is one of my favorite songs that we used to do together. And Joe really, really played the heck out of this, and so did Barry. And my God, I love doing this. I try to get my best Joe Cocker on for you here, and just have some fun with this. So share, okay? Seems I got to have a change of scene, as every night I have strange dreams. Prison, by the way, could have been left here on my own, so it seems. I got to leave before I start to scream. Somebody locked the door and took the key. You're feeling alright, and not feeling too good myself. I hope we're all doing it, you know what I mean? Feeling alright, hey Dean, and not feeling too good myself. Oh, you sure took me for one good ride. Even now I sit and wonder why. And when I think of you, well, I start myself to cry out. I just can't waste my time, I must keep trying. gotta stop believing in all your lies. There is too much to do before I die. You're feeling alright. Not feeling too good myself. Don't you know you're feeling alright? Yeah, not feeling too good myself. It's Joe on the RMI electric piano. It's not really, but he's better. All I say. At the time I really felt that way. That was then, and now you know that it's today. Well, I can't get off, so I guess I'll here to stay till somebody comes along and takes my place with a different name and yes, different face. You're feeling alright. I'm not feeling too good myself. Don't you know we're feeling alright? You're not feeling too good myself. Well, I said I am feeling alright. Yeah, I'm not feeling too good myself. Now about here I'd leave the stage and Joe and Barry would just jam and jam and jam for the last 10 minutes of the set. Barry would do a drum solo that would stop the room. It's so much fun. Yeah, yeah. Come on, yeah. Don't you know I'm feeling alright? Yeah, I'm not feeling too good myself. People are feeling alright. Joe Cocker. Oh, man. Memory lane for me, I'll tell you that. And you know what's funny? All during the week, I was watching people share stories that I knew nothing about because they each had their own stories going. You know, Becky had her take on things, and Christy and Diane, and you know, and it's just everybody had their own things, and that's a lot of it I didn't even remember, didn't even know. Compass was huge for me, and this was like going home for me tonight. And thank you for sharing it with me, and I really appreciate it. So remember that this is on all week. I'll have it up on YouTube. Hopefully I still remember how to do that. The other shows are there. And it's Eddie Bruce Music at YouTube. No spaces. That's the only way to find my channel. And go to my channel and subscribe because we have all kinds of cool things there. I have a video of me on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I have a video of me on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour from 1968. And lots of stuff for the band and concerts and stuff like that. So youtube.com/Eddie Bruce Music. Yeah. I don't know if Jag got on tonight. You know, I talked to him this week, and I know Barry did, and he's doing okay out in California. He's I don't know if he's playing anymore. I think he kind of said he's had enough. He's not going to play anymore, but he's doing okay. And I visit him whenever I go to Palm Springs. And I know he'll watch it later if he's not on with us now. For all of the equipment that he had and everything that he could do, he's slightly technologically challenged, he told me, when it comes to this kind of stuff. You know, people ask me a lot, what's your favorite song? And as I've said in the past, it's really hard to choose because we love them all like our kids, you know. And without question, this one is my favorite song, but I almost never sing it. And before I get into this, by the way, I just want to thank everybody who contributed to sponsoring this show last week. You were generous, and it means a lot because there is expense in doing this, and I work real hard at it, and it's the only thing I'm doing at all since January. So it's greatly appreciated. The Venmo and PayPal information is on Facebook right under my profile. Josh has been posting it tonight, and anything you do is really greatly appreciated. I saw Dean Schneider out there. I saw Tom Adams saying hello. Hey, Tom. I see Rhoda. I see my cousin Sherry. I see the great Paula Johns, who's got a show, I think, Tuesday, in tribute to the marvelous Lena Horne. You can't miss it. I see Clobber, who was on this past week with the All-Star Jazz Trio. I see Jamie. I see the Chadwicks. I want to say hi to my grandchildren. I know the boys aren't watching, but Maddie might still be. So, Maddie, I love you. And, of course, Josh, thank you for all your help. And Sonny and James and Emily and Matt and Josh and Sam, you're all blessings in my life. So this song is a blessing. I don't sing it often because I don't feel like I can do it justice without exactly the right arrangement, and even then. But we had several requests for this, so I'm going to close tonight with a song that is about going home, which is what this was for me tonight, and a joyful return home to those days. I want to dedicate this to a few people who are special, and who are some who are hurting and have been through a lot. And so I'm going to dedicate this. First of all, she's not hurting, but this was one of her requests and favorites. And the biggest Compass fan ever, Betsy Chappett down in Georgia. This is dedicated to you. I want to dedicate this to Olivia. Olivia is a young lady that's been through a heck of a lot. She was in an accident and she lost a limb, and she's been working so hard and walking again, and I'm so proud of her. So Olivia, special young lady, this is a very special song that we'll dedicate to you. I want to also dedicate this to John Wendler, dear friend who's having a really tough week. And, this song is too special to even really say much about, except that I found this gorgeous orchestration. And so I'm going to do it for you. And thank you. We'll see you next week with Sinatra, First Friday Frank, and a lot of cool songs. You'll know this. When all the world is a hopeless jumble, and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the reach. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard once in a lullaby. Somewhere over dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Thank you. Thank you for sharing my memories. Thank you for letting me go back under the rainbow to the days of Compass and those years on the road that shaped me. I love Friday nights with you. I love them. Tell your friends. Let's build our audience. Share, share, share. We've been doing over 3,000 views during the week. I want to even go bigger. I want more. So my love to all of you for a safe and wonderful week. I will go watch all of your comments and I'll say hi while I have my dinner. Love you all. Bye.